Yo, what's going on guys? Jared here, and today we are going to be talking about other counter decks to Fire Kings. I know recently I talked about stuff like the little Masquerade burning ability and Godie's interactions being all specifically about banishing, and going around that, I was thinking more about other decks in the past that have done a lot of banishing and things that could just remove these issues from the game so that we don't have to worry about them for the future, right? This also includes decks that play Shifter as well, because Shifter is a huge hindrance to Fire Kings. I'm usually not an advocate for playing Shifter, but with how dominant it seems this deck could be, I think that having counters for a deck like this is very important. So I think this is going to be another excellent possible counter strategy for that. And I'm just going to show you what the deck is, and I hope you guys enjoy. Please subscribe if you do. Okay guys, so the deck we are going to be talking about here is actually going to be Exosister. This is a deck that when it first released, I actually built it. And after I built it for that first time, it really wasn't for me, that format, and I got rid of it. And now, looking into this format, this actually has some really good interactions going forward for what the future of the format is going to look like. So let's just jump right to the card by card, and I'll explain as we go. But right off the bat, we have a lot of non-engine slots in this deck. We have upwards of almost 20 slots, maybe more. And I think that leaves a lot of room and versatility for what you can play. So we are able to play 3 copies of Shifter, 3 Ash, 3 Droll, 3 Bell, and 3 Imperm. All of these are looking pretty strong next format, especially the Bell, Ash, and Shifter, and Droll. Like these main 4 right here are especially going to be strong next format. And then Imperm is just a generically flat bread, could be drawn to 6 cards, still really strong hand trap. Now, for the actual Exosisters themselves, we are actually only playing 3 Ellis, 3 Martha, 1 Stella, and 1 Sophia. I actually took a lot of inspiration from DZ's list that he played last, where for the way that this was actually built, because he has obviously way more experience in this deck than I do, so I'm going to trust his experience for something like this. I just made some little modifications to help with the current format. But he chose a very small package of actual Exosister monsters, which I completely understand because they are just, at the end of the day, just normal summons that do not always be 1-card combos, except for, of course, Martha. The rest of these are all 2-card combos, so he actually subsidized them for playing an additional 1-card combo, being the Armatama package, which is the Spirit package, which lets you search Sakitama, and in Sakitama you can reveal it to normal summon it from the hand, which allows you to get into your Mikalis with still 1 card. So this package is really nice, and Sakitama being an extender by itself is still extremely strong. And I really liked, I was playing Sakitamas already, and then when I was doing, looking at other videos for research for this one, the Aratama came up a couple of times, and I completely understood what he was talking about minimizing these. As well, I do want to say, I do think that the Exosister monsters themselves are very, very strong, because it seems like every deck has moving pieces out of the graveyard. You know, Labyrinth does it, Fire King does it, Snake Guys do it. Everything is moving stuff out of the graveyard, so being able to get these free exceeds over these monsters by themselves is extremely strong, as well as quick effect banishes with something like Mikalis on top of that. So that's it for the actual monsters of the deck. And then for the little other Exosister cards, we have 3 packs. Of course, this card is an insane extender. 1 Returnia, 1 Vadis. I really, really like both of these cards, and I want to play more of them, to be honest. But they are still trap cards in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! That is still their biggest downfall, where you can play them, they're extremely strong, but you cannot base the deck on these. You would have to play a very different type of strategy for this. So for now, I'm going to be sticking with just 1 and 1. For the rest of the non-engine, we have 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talents with Droll running around. And Droll, Ash, Bell, those 3 cards specifically. I think Talents is going to help going for breaking boards to draw more extenders, or to take control maybe level 4 monsters. Just a very strong generic card for now. And then we have 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity for consistency, and 1 copy of Call by the Grave, because this is even helpful against the Labyrinth and the Fire King matchup to help like subsidize what they're doing, and being able to use this on your own turn is actually pretty important. And for the side deck, we only have just a couple options here that I just wanted to show an example for, that you can maybe take insightfulness from, with just 3 Veil or 3 Nib, but just extra hand traps in case you're going against some super heavy combo deck that you could play against. 3 Soul Release for Fire Kings, of course. 3 copies of Anti-Spell for going first, and then 3 copies of Soul Drain, because this card is actually pretty decent against Fire Kings, and possibly Labyrinth as well, depending on how many furnitures that they are running. So I think all these cards could have a place that are in the format currently. But again, this is just take this with a grain of salt. These are just options that you have. not things that are necessarily the best. But going on to the extra deck, we have 2 copies of, I'm going to butcher these names, Apostophil. This should be the one that actually stops effects in the graveyard, which is super important. Especially right now, there's so many effects that trigger in the graveyard, so having this in here is extremely nice. Whoopsie. I actually just switched this around on accident. Oh well. And then we have 1 copy of Gibberine. This is just the OTK card where which you boost your attack. That is the main part of this card. 2 copies of Caspatel. This is the searcher for an Exosister monster, so this is going to be searching Martha most of the time. 3 copies of Mikalis. I think this card is crazy. The quick effect banish and search is ridiculous. I want this card in like all of my decks. I swear this card is so strong. So I really want to play this more, to be honest. Like if I could play more and summon more, I would. Like I want this all the time. And then obviously we have the 2 copies of Exosister Magnifica. This card is also a banish, but being able to tag back out into Mikalis for another banish while possibly having the returning on the field for 2 more banishes. You are banishing so many cards of just in-engine, and it's really annoying to deal with. So I think the Exosister monsters themselves being very well positioned for this current format. For additional cards that we are playing, 1 copy of Baguska. This is just a nice little flex spot that you can put really anything into. 1 copy of Zeus, of course, being able to wipe the board, sending, not destroying, extremely important. 1 copy of Typhon for a little comeback mechanic for some combo decks and maybe some other decks that could be running around the format. Just a nice option to have. 1 copy of SP Little Knight and 1 Almirage. This is for the Aritama and Sakitama package. This is also something that he played. I took from DC's video, where just being able to link off the Aritama into the Almirage, normal summon the Sakitama, and then go into the Little Knight for a quick banish, I thought was actually really smart, and I really liked it. So I incorporated it into this deck. So overall, I just wanted to give mention that, like I said, a lot of inspiration was taken from DC's video, but that I do think that Exosister actually is well positioned going into the future format because of cards like Shifter and Magnifica and Returning It. All these cards add a lot of banishing that you really need to deal with these strategies that are just so graveyard reliant. So any decks like this could possibly excel depending on how dominant those other strategies are. So again, overall, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, the deck profile, and the discussion. I think this deck is also quite budget, if I recall. I could be completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. I don't think any of these cards are substantially expensive. So this could be a nice option for budget players as well. So overall, I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile and the deck list. And if you did, please subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. And until then, I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.